Hey everyone, the goal is to get this mesh and convert it into this mesh with the texture you can use in your own scene. So the creator scanned it using his iPhone 12. It's placed in a public space and unfortunately the day was not overcast. So the base color it has lots of highlights and shadows. So we can't directly use it unless your scene lighting is also like this, so you can use it as a background or midground asset. But I want to make it more versatile, so gotta get rid of all those shadows and things. The base color it looks like this, almost devoid of shadows and highlights. Still there is a work to go, but I think it's pretty usable now. So let's see how it goes. It boils down to just transferring data from one mesh to another mesh. This mesh it got the good silhouette after some fixing and working on the UVs. All we have to do is transfer all its data to our own optimized mesh. All in all, it goes like this. Most texture transfer jobs are pretty straightforward. They go in this flow, but this one was slightly more challenging, therefore I'm making this video. So let's start from the beginning. Download it. To save yourself some time, you can start with the converted format. Here the overlapping UVs are separated in two meshes, so it's easier to deal with, but let's say in some other case you do not have such converted format, just the original format. So I'm going to process the difficult thing that will prepare you more for your own challenges. Once you get the file, to keep your sanity in check, place it somewhere you can always find. I'm going to place it in here. So it has two textures. One looks like this and the other looks like this. In the source we have GLB. So that's all we have. Let's check how it looks in Blender. The mesh is pretty good. There are some holes missing, some more definition that will need manual sculpting. It's a shading graph. It looks like this. So one thing which is going on here, oh god, I hate this thing. When the fuck they will fix it? Yeah, so the original thing looks like this. It has one mesh and two materials, and both the materials are dealing with additional data, which in this mesh is named material index. The reason I know this is because I checked it in geometry nodes, and there must be some ways to, you can also find that data here. I'm not talking about this thing, this node, which is separating the overlapping parts. So in the regions outside this white part is one texture, and in the white regions is another texture. Simple as that. You can find this data here in attributes. You can find material index, face integer, which is this shader graph using. So to facilitate the texture transfer, we have to break the mesh according to this thing, and there must be some easier ways to do it here, and I don't know that, so I'm going to use geometry nodes. Here you can simply create a new graph, a geonode graph, have a delete geometry, and you can feed it the material index attribute, and to call any attribute we have a named attribute. Here we can find our material index, change it to boolean, and attribute goes in the selection. So this is one part of the mesh. Duplicate it. I'm just applying the modifier by hitting Ctrl A, and in the other mesh I'm just inverting the effect by adding a not. Not this one, boolean not. So yeah, We have successfully broken down this mesh in two parts, and in these individual parts the UVs are not overlapping. So if we check in UV editing, this is one mesh, this is the other mesh. So if we go into shading again, we do not need all these things. We can actually we need just one material per mesh now. So delete the one which is not needed. That was not it, it's this one, and in the other mesh it is this. So now you can simplify the shader graph, just get rid of all the things, apply the color, do that again for the other material, and we now have a much simpler thing to work with. The metallic is 1, make it 0. Not that it matters, we are going to just transfer our diffuse. So now we reduced the whole problem into, we have two pieces of meshes and we need to transfer its base color to some other mesh. Let's export these two pieces. I wonder why this selection only is not ticked by default. Pretty dumb on developer's end. Give it a useful name. Let me check what image it is using. This one is using image 0 and the other one is using image 4. These are their file names, so makes life simpler. So export them one by one. Export as obj. And now that we have the input mesh sorted, we can work on the combined mesh to get the topology we want. And right now it looks like this. So here you can go according to your requirements. I had to add more details, so I worked with ZBrush. It looks like this. The final mesh goes like this. I just sculpted some details in Dynamesh and the result is then Z-remeshed. You can spend more time and do a better job than this. Usually Z-remesh means lots of spiral loops. I'm not planning to animate or deform this in any way, so I'm okay with that. The initial mesh looked like this. It had some blobby issues and the silhouette was not very clear, especially in the mouth, so I had to work on them little by little. I'm gradually adding more details and the internal parts. Then I exported route for unwrapping in Blender. This is that same mesh I was showing in ZBrush, and its UVs goes like this. I decided to use UDIMs. The base of this statue is in one UDIM and the lion is in another UDIM. Since we are dealing with UDIMs and I didn't find any way to transfer textures across UDIMs in a Substance Designer, I had to export it twice. In one export, the first UDIM occupies the lion, and in the second export, the first UDIM occupies the base. If you want to achieve that, you can just select everything, press G, then X and 1 to move everything in one tile unit across the x-axis. So that way you can have the base in first UDIM. Substance Designer will only look at the one tile. There are ways to transfer all the data in Blender, but I tried that and the output was not very good, so I had to use substance designer. What we have now is the given geometry in two pieces, one, two, the both textures that we downloaded with it, and our lion, which in geometry is same, but its UV positions are different. So all we have to do is transfer the data from both these meshes into these our two z-remeshed meshes. All in all, it's a 4-step thing. The texture data from these two pieces goes in this and then this. So to do that, open Substance Designer. I believe you can do the same thing in Maya, X normal. Even in ZBrush, there are ways to project texture. I just find Substance Designer most consistent. Unfortunately, it lacks ways to deal with UDIMs. So all you have to do is import all these 4 meshes. First create a new file. The settings doesn't matter. Just link these things in your substance graph. And let's deal with this one, which is lion. Basically UVs of lion are in UDIM 1. So right click on it, bake mesh information. Here first I'm going to choose the first piece, which is image 4, and we have to transfer texture. So choose transfer texture, and the texture that we want to transfer is not in the designer scene. I didn't link it, so you can choose from file or from resource. Let's import them all. The textures that we initially downloaded are like this. The data is layouted like this. If I use these same files in the designer, it will not project right. That something is going on with the preparation, such that to fix that I had to flip both these images in y-axis. So now they appear like this. It's the same thing, just inverted in the vertical. Only then the texture transfer was appearing correct. How that happened, I'm still not sure, but it's what it is. The UDIM 1, bake mesh information, transfer texture, choose the image 4 and the piece image 4. Now if you give it some destination, in this you will need transparency, because in image editing we will be combining both the pieces per UDIM. So disable apply diffusion and keep dilation with to some low number like 4, and hit start render. So designer is very fast in transferring details, so you can do it at whatever size you want. We started with one single 4K image holding all the data, so I'm just and I decided to go with 2 UDIMs, therefore I'm going to work with 2K data. Now do the same thing with now I'm going to do the same thing but with the other piece, which is image 0. Here also it should be image 0. Do that again, name it something. Now we got the different output. It's because we broke the initial mesh. So in order to combine them, just open some image editing tool of your choice and place them on top of each other. So we got the whole information for UDIM 0, which is just the lion. Save this thing. Now repeat the same thing but for the UDIM 1. So same step, right click, bake mesh information, one piece of mesh, transfer texture, we want transparency with some dilation, and do it again but with the other piece. It might feel confusing, but once you do it yourself, you will get the hang of it. It's not about memorizing anything, it's just preparing data the way you want. If I went with just one tile, it would have been a lot simpler, but I wanted more details. Now again combine those two pieces for UDIM 1. So that's how I got all the information into UDIMs. I believe there must be some automated way to achieve this thing. I'm just not aware of it yet. So if you know, let me know. So once you have done all that, the only thing you have achieved is transferring all the base color from the initial mesh to the mesh of your choice. It still has all those problems, but now since the UVs are quite big, you can easily bake data maps on it. It is more workable. There are multiple ways to get rid of these shadows and highlights. You can go in your image editing software, use shadows and highlights and manage it. You can go to substance sampler, which I did, and the results were terrible. It must be useful for some easier cases, but in this one it failed. So I had to take help of AI. I used Flux, and its output the Flux output looks like this, which is still not perfect, but much better than a substance sampler. Then I did some shadows highlights in Affinity to get this. Then to get rid of all the parts that are appearing odd, I cloned them out. And finally it appears like this, which is a good starting point to work further. So let me quickly show you how to achieve delighting effect in Flux. You can do it in Comfy UI. Comfy UI is also available on website directly. I believe they put it behind paywall if I'm not wrong. Launch Comfy Cloud, and if you choose a free model like Flex Dev, let's see what happens. Fuck off. Yeah, this one I use this thing, Flux 2 Dev. So here choose your map. Did it upload? Okay, it is subscribe to run, so you will have to pay them. There was some earlier, there was some feature where you do not have to pay. It was anyway in your local installation of Comfy UI, just go to templates, choose Flux to Dev, and choose that file you prepared and give it some prompt. The prompt that I give was this. You can go with a better prompt. I didn't experimented with many different variations of prompts. This one worked just good enough. So yeah, it might take some time depending on your hardware. So yeah, that's all. My next steps would be to export this base color and upscale it once in Topaz Gigapixel. Let's see how that goes. That is it. Thanks for watching.